Coach Sully, man, Master Coach. Master Coach,
Yeah,
what's up?
that's what they call me.
Yeah. I had a great conversation with George last week, and we got into his Achilles injury a little bit.
Right.
And I'm not here to kind of make you relive or go through things that, that were tough.
But it's part of life.
Yeah, so the whole point of this is like, I'm trying to help as many athletes as we can help.
Of course.
Right? And unfortunately, injuries are a part of the game. So a lot of the times when these younger athletes get hurt, get injured, their minds aren't fully mature yet. So sometimes going through that, the recovery process is tough.
Yes.
And George was a track athlete, so that's a little more individual based, but you were track as well as football, so team based. So not only were you trying to get back for yourself, but then you had teammates trying to rely on you too.
Right.
So I just want to kind of talk a little bit about that and how you kind of managed to get through that situation in your athletic career.
Well, I mean, you said the key words too. It's challenging when you're by yourself, but with a team, you got your brothers, your sisters to kind of get you through injuries and getting back. They kind of keep you engaged and keep you, encouraged that, hey, we'll hold it down until you get back. Mm-hmm. But they're pushing you to get back. So, not saying it's easy, but it helps when you're with a team or part of a team. Yeah. Track's a little different. My man George is a strong dude physically, clearly, and mentally. Yeah. So it's a different grind when you're injured and you're on your own. You're dealing with that kind of by yourself. But you outsource and you talk to people about it. Who no journey's really alone. I'm sure he's trained with people, right? He had coaches coaching him, so you stay in touch with those guys. And but it's a mental. We gotta be careful with what we say, but it's a mental grind, big time, when you're trying to come from injury, especially on an individual basis like track and field.
Gotcha.
But you gotta know and be hungry to get back.
Yep.
That hunger's not for everyone. An injury kind of puts people out for good. But if you're hungry and you're passionate about the sport that was taken away from you because of injury, you'll push through and you'll get back. Just keep your mind on, why you're playing in the first place. Some people were playing just because, hey, they were good at it. They just weren't passionate about it. So yeah, sometimes the chances of a comeback are slim.
That's definitely a big difference there. And I think with the amount of athletes that we see, you can definitely talk to that.
Yeah.
The difference between, hey, I play a sport because I play a sport, and hey, I play a sport because I love this sport. There's a huge difference.
Big difference. Yeah. And it's unfortunate to have injury to anyone, but it's almost like if you weren't into it in the first place, an injury easily, it's unfortunate, but you move on because you're like,
Yeah.
But the kids who, you see them really struggling with injuries because, they miss what they were doing beforehand. Mm-hmm. And usually if they can get through that little process of being depressed, which is normal, feeling sorry for yourself, which is normal, push through that, and when you start to see a little progress, you'll be hungry again and you'll get back to where you want. And George is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
But just to give people a little bit more context of why I brought you in here, what did you go through in college? Twice.
Well, if I could go back for a second, I was lucky through my high school career, 3-sport athlete, didn't experience a whole lot of injury. I had a concussion or two, which is just as serious,
part of the
but
game,
nothing that kept me from being able to move, right? Then I go to college and, I experienced my first real pulled hamstring that set me back. This was freshman year of outdoor track, so my freshman year. Then the following year, tore my ACL, my left ACL in football, last game of the season as a sophomore, which, at least I made it through the season, but it was kind of like, well, this is the last game. I could have did without that.
Yep.
Had time to recover, did a little track. Junior year, tore my right ACL next season for football, and that really kind of was a gut punch because the process from the first one was so, hard and it felt like forever, right? So now I had setback and tore my other knee. But pushed back and came back senior year, had a successful season, and we were divisional champs, conference champs, won the NJAC, so it was all worth it in the end.
Talk about it, okay.
But we had some setbacks when I got to college, and I think they made me who I am. I don't regret them, Of course, we look back and we're like, oh, if only this didn't happen, maybe I could have, right? But everything happens for a reason, and I think it made me a stronger individual for life.
Yeah, speak a little bit on that, because you just said it was sophomore year, you tore your ACL on your left knee, right?
Left knee, yeah.
So then go through all that rehab recovery, get back, right? Junior year, boom, other knee. From a mental standpoint, that's got to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think it's called kinesiophobia. When you have an injury like that, your body might be fine. You might be even stronger than before, but mentally, just being able to put that force. So speak to that, going through it a second time, but still being able to come back after that junior year injury.
Right. Well, a couple of factors with that. You said it. Kinesiophobia was stronger on after the second tear than the first, because you're scared. You don't trust yourself anymore. Your body. Your ability. But besides trying to fight to gain my trust, the doctors, team physicians, teammates, coaches, strength coaches, gave me the confidence to kind of trust my abilities. The rehab, consistently going to rehab, consistency with, what I needed to do, that they said, hey, you do this, you'll be back in X amount of days, X amount of months.
Yep.
So doing it, being consistent, trusting that process.
More so than just going through the motions of the, exactly.
And especially the second time, you're like, oh, this again. You kind of go through the motions of rehab, but you don't want it to happen a third time. And that brings me back to why a third time, why I even tried a third time. And it goes back to the team aspect. Those guys, I went freshman year, we weren't the best team. Sophomore year, we were really terrible. But we saw that, junior, senior year, we were going to be a really good squad. So I didn't want to be on the sidelines watching my boys that I worked hard with succeed. It's selfish, but I want to see them succeed, but I want to be a part of that. So that pushed me to come back senior year. But kinesiophobia, like you mentioned, was strong, but it's about battling yourself and your insecurities, or whatever the word you want to use, about doing things and the tear happening again, right? Getting over that hump was the biggest challenge, but my body was definitely ready. I had a great senior year. Like I said, we were conference champs, went in the playoffs, went farther than we've gone in years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of factors to it, but it's about trust and a team around you continuing to keep your eyes on the prize. And there's a lot goes into it, but the passion, I wanted to play.
And
I wanted to play.
You're a humble dude. I think that's a great trait. So we got this far into the conversation, you haven't even mentioned it. You were honored with an award in college. So talk about it a little bit.
Well, I mean, it was the Joseph Camelone Comeback Player of the Year award. Joseph Camelone was an awesome athletic trainer for years at the College of New Jersey. I was lucky enough to kind of work with him through the first and some of the second injuries. And he retired. He's in the Hall of Fame. But they named the award after him, and they gave me the inaugural award, which was cool to receive. But it's just all about perseverance and coming back from challenges. We all have challenges in life. It's not just about sport. And I think it carried over to my real life now. I'm a father. I'm expecting another one on the way, married, right? Especially in these times, it's challenging, right? There's a lot of things stacked against you where it makes life hard. But I think tearing both, as crazy as it sounds, has helped me kind of persevere in life and through all the obstacles and the nonsense that goes on in our world. So I don't regret it, I embrace it, and I try to help others get through it, because you're going to face challenges.
So I think a big takeaway here too is, obviously injury, nobody wants it. Nobody wants to go through it. But it's a part of the game. It is. So if you unfortunately have to go through it, there's always a brighter side to things. And I think the brighter side of things is what you just said. It kind of, more so than just sports, once your kind of career was over, it's still the things that you went through from the injury made you a stronger person than you are today.
100%.
So I think that's huge. And I think it's important for these athletes and these young minds to always keep that in their mind. Does it suck? Obviously, it sucks. But if you put yourself through it, can you get back and get back on the field? I think you're proof that it's possible.
It is totally possible. It's just having a team around you and keeping your eye on the prize. Like, I'll bring it back to again, my personal experiences. I tore my second one. It was a rough road again, especially mentally. But once we won that conference championship and we were deep in the playoffs, like, I'm happy I went through all that and I'm here. It was absolutely worth it.
Absolutely.
Now, if I didn't, I said, you know what? I tore it again. I'm done. I'm hanging it up, which, hey, that's a choice some people make. That's okay. I would have been really upset when my team, you know, my boys that I worked hard with went on and won without me. As selfish as it sounds,
but
it would have been something
you're
that
a competitor. You want to be on the
I
field,
want to
you
compete, and it would have been something that would have bothered me till this day. You know, and you don't want to live with regrets. So I leave that to, you know, anyone who's going through the challenges. Continue to push through, because, you know, there's brighter days ahead, and you're going to be thankful you did. 100%.
I'll wrap up with this, and I didn't even prep you for this part because I forgot, but I think you'll get it. Everybody does the big things, right? Everybody goes to practice, right? Everybody shows up to the game. But the things that make you great are
the things that make you great are the little things.
There we go. Yes, I knew he was gonna get it.
But you know, and to me, some of the little things are things I don't think we all do. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Are you giving it all you got? You know, are there areas I can work on better? And if you do that, you know, things are going to kind of piece together nicely for you, I think.
Absolutely. All right, appreciate the talk, man.
I appreciate you, man. This was fun.